What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look and a listen to Mr. Wowski. He's going to be talking about Social Security, SSI, and SSDI when it comes to filing claims. So the wait times that we're seeing from the Social Security Administration, they're too long right now. And so he's going to be talking about ways to address the backlog and how to move forward with actually getting these claims resolved. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Threads, you can at the TEC Show Live. You can also follow my WhatsApp channel. I'll have it posted in the comments. It'll be pinned at the very, very top. Just click the link, go over there. You'll see all the videos that I posted, illustrations, as well as some more documents if you want to download those. Okay, let's go ahead. I want to go ahead and play the video first, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it. Here we go.
Mr. Wowski, you're now recognized.
Thank you. Chairman Ferguson, Ranking Member Pascrell, and members of the subcommittee. I am Mark Wowski, a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute. From July 2017 through January 2021, I was Deputy Commissioner for Retirement and Disability Policy at Social Security, where I led the development of a revamp of the medical vocational roles for eligibility for disability benefits. I understand now is a very difficult time at the agency. No doubt there are many causes for this sudden and sharp deterioration in service and employee morale, and that these causes are both short-term and long-term in nature. But I want to focus today on a very important long-term solution to the service and resource problems at the agency. The currently needlessly complex and outdated rules and data that both claimants and the agency use to determine eligibility for disability benefits have to be simplified, modernized, and automated. And actually, a fully specified disability eligibility simplification and modernization proposal currently exists at the agency waiting to be published. And really the question is, where is it? But first, let me give you just a bit of background to determine eligibility for disability benefits. SSA uses a 5-step evaluation process. The last 2 steps constitute the medical vocational rules, and they have not changed since 1978. They largely rely on job requirements data from the Dictionary of Occupational Titles, the DOT, which was created during the Great Depression and last partially updated by the Department of Labor in 1991 and not since. Among its 14,000 occupations, and I liked Mr. Camp's example, I have a few others, which are deemed to exist in significant numbers in the economy. The DOT has a phonograph cartridge assembler and a web press operator, print, but does not have a web designer. Furthermore, it has never included the mental requirements of work, an increasingly important factor in the modern work environment, as we've heard today. The regulation adopted in 1978 included a fairly prescriptive vocational grid for Step 5, which is outdated and largely inadequate. It is now used only in about 10% of Step 5 cases. For the rest, the rules are a framework, but they rely on a detailed and often very semi-informed analysis of job requirements and numbers of available jobs in the economy by SSA vocational specialists and vocational experts paid for by SSA. This adds time and it adds expense. These rules also dictate a difficult, expensive, and often inconsistent and arbitrary assessment of the ability to adjust or transition to new work at older ages. This also takes time and is very, very inefficient. The grid or the framework, it produces arbitrary and inequitable results, often related to age, and in my testimony I give some examples. There are particularly noticeable jumps in awards at age 50, which the regulations call closely approaching advanced age. Age 55, advanced age, and age 60, demarcations in the current regulations, giving considerable and increasing leniencies in eligibility standards. The natural increase in disability awards, according to objective definitions of disability, would be much more gradual with age without those rules. And there have been many changes in the American labor force since the 1970s that really do add weight to the case for reform. People are working longer, older people are working longer. There are a lot of new technologies and changes in the economy that reduce the physical aspects of jobs. There's a lot more part-time work than with substantial pay than there was in the past. This is not reflected at all in the current regulations. A modernized vocational database should replace the woefully out-of-date data currently in use. As we've heard, the Bureau of Labor Statistics and its team of nearly 200 field economists have produced in 2019 and 2020 a complete first wave of detailed occupational requirements, ORS information. Thus far, ORS has cost the SSA about $300 million, now roughly $42 million a year to run the survey, and we have not seen its use yet. With this new nationally representative data on work requirements, policymakers can make sensible policy changes to the programs. For example, if only entry-level work is considered as step 5, the complex and time-consuming transferability of skills analysis performed at older ages can be omitted entirely, a significant simplification. Similarly, all this data would be housed in a public platform called the Vocational Informational Tool, the VIT, that combined with the streamlined new regulations would simplify and automate the vast majority of claims. When I left the agency in January 2021, this rule was ready to be published. We know that under current rules, some claimants are being inappropriately denied benefits and others are inappropriately being awarded benefits. This should not continue. Thank you for your invitation to speak, and I'm glad to answer your questions.
Okay, so you saw he was really focused mainly on the metric and how it's outdated. And we see this all the time when it comes to government agencies. I worked for a government agency for 21 years, so I kind of have, some insight on this. We're always behind the curve. Like you have a private industry and they're moving forward with technology and we're still holding on to old technology. And a lot of that will slow down the process. And when it slows down the process, that means that you're going to have this backlog. And when you have a backlog, you have employees that start to get to a point where they are disgruntled or the morale drops. And because of that, you have people leaving the agencies. And that's what happens. So Social Security Administration, I'm sure they're no different than other government agencies. When you have that backlog, all they're looking at, the employee, all they're looking at is how much work that they have to do because they're not able to do it more efficiently, and they probably could be able to do it more efficiently if they had the latest and greatest technology. And so now they're so disgruntled, and all they can think about is, oh, I got to do this, I have to do this, and I have to do that. And they get to a point where they say, you know what, I'm getting out of here. I can't continue to do this. And then that's a domino effect, because if one person leaves, then guess what? They're leaving their work to the other people that are still there. And then if another person leaves, and you see how it goes, and your caseloads start to rise. And when I was working, that's the way it was. Our caseloads started to rise, and there's nothing that we could do about it. We had to continue to try to, in my case, supervise these cases, but we had more cases to supervise, but we still only had 8 hours in a day to work. And sometimes you'd have to work over because you didn't have the time. And that brings down morale even more. You're making the same pay, but you're working twice as hard as you were just a year ago. And so this is definitely something that needs to be addressed. And if they could work on the metric, if they could work on the fact that new technology would make things easier, then that would help out a lot when it comes to like even the initial claims. Could they have a computer, AI, look at these initial claims, and some will get approved right away through AI, and all you need is to have someone just to kind of look over to make sure everything is running properly. And then those claims that got denied by AI, then they can look into it. You can have a person actually look into it and see if it was accurate. So they could move forward with stuff like that. But like I said, when it comes to technology in the government, they like to wait. The only technology that's up to date is with the military. With the military, we're using the latest, greatest weapons, the latest, greatest technology. But when it comes to other federal agencies, you just don't see it. It takes a long time. Maybe the FBI as well. I think the FBI is on the top of the list when it comes to technology. But a lot of the other agencies, you're not going to see it. In the Social Security Administration, you're surely not going to see it. And he was just saying that some of the metrics that they were using back in 1978, and they're still using that same metric today, which is really crazy. So I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.